not very many people would agree with the famous Murphy's Law, which states that, quote, if anything can go wrong, it will. But then there's a corollary to this curious law, which suggests that if people who tend to dwell on the negative and overlook the positive run the mathematical risk that something untoward might happen. Now, the whole scenario captures our imagination, if you understand me. For us in this crazy business, when we say bad news is good news, it leaves so much to interpretation. Here's the news. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has recorded 204, please underline that, 204 new cases of COVID-19 and regrets it's running out of bed spaces in Lagos. The writer is that Lagos is very close to the 1,000 mark I just told you. Reality, gentlemen, is something that doesn't go away even when you stop thinking.
Yes. Yes. It's one fear that we had, and that fear has been confirmed. The rate at which we were recording confirmed cases in Lagos or from Lagos, you knew that a time will come when the number of confirmed cases would clearly outstrip the capacity of the state to adequately take care of those persons. When it comes to logistics, what's on ground is not limitless. Lagos has isolation centers, but the isolation centers are not limitless. So if we have a deluge of cases, it will be impossible to deal with the situation. Even in Europe and America, where the health system is impressive enough, we have seen how they are running from pillar to post to cope.
New York, for instance.
New York, America, many of the states in America, they do not, they are even begging people who had scheduled surgeries to defer the time, push so that they can urgently attend
Cope with
to
what the emergency.
Yes, you know, if it's something that you can live with, why don't you let us deal with COVID-19 first? So they are begging people, caregivers who had retired, they are begging them to come back, come back to work. So this is
all hands on deck.
Yes, this is the situation. Telling them come back to work, come and help. So what I'm saying is that in this situation that Lagos has found itself, it needs so many caregivers, as many as it can find. It also needs bed spaces. But the number of bed spaces available are clearly being outstripped by the numerous new cases. None of us thought it would be this bad.
Oh, yeah.
But that is the situation.
But you people also agree it is in the Nigerian DNA to behave that way?
To behave how?
Not to think tomorrow now, if you understand me.
Well, even if you said that, the Americans too, they had hundreds of hospitals, but they can't cope. They can't cope.
Mine is
more than 60,000 dead.
The basis for comparison at a time like this, I don't always like to consider. Every country has its peculiar attitude towards this monster. It is here. But first thing is not to live in denial, which is the crime here, number one crime. Come on, Asukwa, James, please, let's look at compliance issues. It is still at issue here, compliance.
It's a very big issue, because even when they locked down Lagos, they locked down Ogun and the FCT, we still saw people coming down from Lagos to, from Ogun State to Lagos. you know. And this, I can say, has not been good for Lagos, because if we are saying something is locked down, nobody should be moving apart from those who are on essential duty.
Yeah, yeah.
And in locking down some states, because I know some state governors also said, okay, we are going to lock down, we still found out that some people still found themselves
All
to that state.
36 governors were on the same
They're on
page.
the same.
Look, there's the need
to lock down.
Yeah.
You know, some states actually locked down, but people still found how did they do it? Now,
but
just like
there's a weak link here.
Of
security.
course, security. You know, so that is a major problem in all this, because if, for instance, it was only concentrated in Lagos,
yeah,
I think all the energies and the resources would have just gone to Lagos, knowing that it is only Lagos that has the confirmed cases, and then other states would have been free. But we noticed that the security was lax, in that people were still traveling when they had this lockdown. And so the thing started traveling from Lagos to Ogun, from Ogun. It found itself into Oyo, found itself to Osun. You know, at some point, the governor in Osun was practically crying.
Yeah.
You know?
It won't break your heart anyway, because you are not surprised. Night travel is still on.
Exactly. Like the guy in Ekiti. The guy in Ekiti. He spent 12,000 naira to get to Ekiti from Lagos.
Wow.
I wonder what that boy was looking
I
at.
just don't understand.
Yeah.
And he said that they were going through the unpopular routes.
Unpopular.
Yes.
To evade detection.
So it was willful.
Yes. To evade detection, roads that had been abandoned for years. Those were the roads that they were applying.
And rife with danger.
What were you looking for? The ban was in place. Ban on interstate travel was in place. Yet you desperately wanted to get to to Ekiti.
It's like sometimes what you hear, you don't want to believe. I hear Ijebu people, they too like parties. So at a time like this, they are the hardest hit. I don't know, but
they are, but they have handled it
in a maturity.
They've handled it with maturity. You know, I have friends amongst them. My friends like Mayor Akinpelu. They know that this time they can't hold parties. As much as they like to go to parties, they are hamstrung.
Okay.
So they are condemned, in inverted commas, to sit in their houses and look at the beautiful faces of their wives.
Let the party rest for a while. But then we can rub this in. Governors Oyetola, that's Ogun State. Yes. Obaseki is Edo State. They have Obaseki is Edo.
Oyetola
is Osun. Yes. Obaseki, they have extended the dusk to dawn.
Yes, the president
that's in sync.
The president said that states can vary these measures, the way, manners that are peculiar to them. So you find the governor of Kaduna State saying, okay, 30 days. You know, other governors can say, okay, we are lifting the lockdown. Yeah, I mean, we are easing the lockdown in some ways. So what suits you? It's a federal structure.
But do you know, even that lends itself to a lot of interpretation.
Yeah, of course, our people, you know, I hear people say total lockdown. And I said, no. To say total lockdown is illiterate. The president already from the first day, the president gave exceptions. A total lockdown is like a curfew. Nobody is expected to be seen outside. What we have had from the off is not a total lockdown. It's not a total lockdown.
Excepting as we sit here, Kano State, total lockdown. Right?
No, even there, even in Kano.
Essential duties.
Those
on essential duties.
People who bring food,
into
food
the state or within the state.
People distribute fertilizers, are free to come into the state. So it is not a total lockdown.
It is measured.
If it's a total lockdown, nobody will be seen on the streets. There has not been a total lockdown from the beginning.
Okay.
That's the point.
But you've heard the counterpoint, so-called, that it should have been total from day one.
Yes, from day one. You know.
You buy into that?
Yes, it should have been like that.
And it should have cut across the country.
Across, you know, so that this person-to-person community transmission wouldn't have been, come into place at all. It would have just been from that index case, would have just handled it immediately, and then contact trace those who are around.
Look at that journalist who left Kaduna to go and distribute it to them in Adamawa.
In Adamawa.
If it had been total lockdown, would they have succeeded?
Yeah, yeah.
But in those areas, initially they didn't even think that it was necessary to do a lockdown. So people were freely traveling, from state to state, and they took it all the way to that state. And the governor got angry and said, "You journalists, stay away from my state. Don't come to government house."
Okay. I think we can take a beeline straight to Ekiti State now, where a father, that takes more than guts. A father turned his son in for breaching COVID-19 lockdown order. The man is Femi Adeoye, a retired civil servant, and the governor of the state, Kayode Fayemi, in return has appointed him the state COVID-19 ambassador. Let's share this footage with you.
Mr. Babafemi, your father is rejecting you now, that you should not go with, he don't want you to follow him because he's panic. He said that you are coming from Lagos. So, I don't know. I want you to tell me the reason why you forced yourself to come to Ekiti State. After your father have told you that you should return back, what is the mission you have?
The mission is...
Have you already contacted the COVID-19?
No. I didn't have any COVID.
Okay.
I didn't have any virus.
What I will do is, please go and enter your father's, go to your father's car and enter your daddy's car and go to your house.
Enter my car. Go enter my car. Let him stay here in this pavilion and let the state do whatever that he needs to do. I'm ready to face the press. Let the press.
Baba, are you chasing your son away?
I train up my son to university level. I train up my son to university level.
So he can't come to your house now?
You know what is happening in Nigeria and you are still telling me these things.
Oh boy. Typically Nigerian. Typically Nigerian.
At a point, we didn't get to that point where the man told the boy, "It's your dad, go and enter his car." The man said, "You can't enter my car," and he quickly drove off. That was the funniest part. The boy was racing towards the car, and the man bailed in his car. He said, "You won't get into my car." And they also asked him, he said, "How do I know that whether it's infected or not?" So the man did it, not just for self, but for state. And I know that is why the governor of my adopted state did the reasonable thing to do.
You must rub it in.
That this man probably has helped the rest of us. Because we can't, if we are saying nobody should travel, anybody who travels has gone against the directive of the state. And it's not right. That's why we are in the mess that we found ourselves. People travel, they hide their travel history, and then go ahead to infect innocent caregivers. So this is wrong. It makes sense if you live in my compound, and I'm aware that you just returned from maybe Netherlands or one of those high-burden countries. It makes sense for me to turn you in. Honestly. Let people know.
You are not being wicked.
Yes. I know.
Self-preservation. First law of nature.
Self-preservation and the preservation of the collective.
That's it.
People must see it like that, because at the end of the day, it's not you alone that will be at risk. Other people, innocent people, will be at risk. Look at what happened in Kano. With that retired envoy. And the daughter had to apologize. That, please forgive us for what my dad did. But today the state is in a mess.
So it goes without saying that Governor Fayemi did the needful. Look, if you can do this much, then you can be useful to us.
Yes. So, someone like that should even be given a national honor, because you might not really know the impact of what he has done. It might look and sound sarcastic, but if you look at what he has done, it's just like what happened during Ebola that Adadevo did to shield Sawyer from moving out from that hospital. That is what this man has done.
That's it.
It's similar.
Yeah.
You know,
And she
not
paid
to
with her
allow
life.
his son to move an inch, even from that pavilion. He said he has to be here because I've spoken with Dr.
Do what
Fashola.
you want to do.
Whatever he wants to, let him be there for 14 days. After 14 days, you can come to my house.
And she paid for it.
Yes, you know,
Lamentably.
but Mr. Femi doesn't want to pay for it, but he has done what is necessary, which is my son has to stay here for 14 days as instructed by the WHO and by the governor. If you wanted to come home and he told you, stay where you are, don't come. Don't come. Right. And so these are the kind of people that we want. Ambassadors like this that will go all out to tell people what this COVID is about and ensure that people understand.
So this footage you are watching now will tell a million stories.
Yes, of course.
Oh, yeah.
This is a father that is saying, son, you have done wrong,
Yeah.
and I have to discipline you publicly.
Yeah.
You know, and people should take this as saying, especially
No,
those who are
right
saying that this thing is not real, it's not real.
I hear,
If a father of
I
this,
hear they have elected to live in denial.
yeah, of course, there are so many
It's
people
their
like that.
choice. It's their
If somebody as old as Mr. Femi is saying that, I've heard in the news, even if I've not seen, but I've heard, 14 days, let my son be there for 14 days.
Asuko, I hope the mama of the boy go let the papa rest.
He has to because they are old. And you know the people that are very, very susceptible to this.
Have you not seen cases in which somebody comes and infects a family, and up to 3 or 4 die in the process?
Oh yeah.
So what will a mother gain by insisting that my son must come
in
home?
Bayelsa, as we speak, the index case and the ones that they announced yesterday, they're from one family. One family. So the remaining 4 that makes the total 5 in Bayelsa, all one family.
Okay.
So that is how bad this virus is. So if one person has it in one family, then everybody there is a suspect.
So if you think you are shielding someone, you are providing refuge for someone. At the end of the day, now yourself you they do.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
you must wait for it.
Exactly.
You go take your head, carry him.
Yes,
But again, let's stress this. Whatever happens to us will be a result of the choices we make.
Yes.
Now, let's quickly go to this. 113 medical doctors, health workers are infected with the virus in the country. And that's alarming.
Yes, it's huge. You see, everywhere, health workers have paid with their lives. Everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not just in Nigeria that this has happened. You know, in China, in Italy, hundreds of doctors have lost their lives.
In the line of duty.
Even some of the doctors that were the quickest to discover this ailment and began to give care to people, they paid with their lives. But in the case of Nigeria, the bulk of these medical doctors are not on the front line. When I mean on the front line, they are not amongst those even designated to care for coronavirus patients. Those ones are properly kitted. They have protection against the virus. But the point is, a lot of these guys are from private hospitals. A lot of them. Private hospitals that people went to, lied about their travel history, and then the people attending to them didn't feel the need to wear the PEP or PPE. You know? So they end up infecting nurses, infecting everyone in contact with them. Look at Borno, for example. Borno, they never knew that that person was a coronavirus patient.
Yeah.
And where he was being treated, all of the people there in that hospital, the nurses, they are in danger as we speak. Look at how many hospitals in Lagos, especially on the island, where big men felt too big to go to the isolation centers and just drove into so-called highbrow hospitals to go and infect people. Many of those hospitals now are being decontaminated.
Willy-nilly.
Because they feel that, look, I cannot go and mingle with.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
now, those hospitals are being shut, decontaminated, before people can be allowed
And
to go back there. This is where the bulk of these people come from. Although there are doctors too amongst the people caring for coronavirus patients who are carrying the virus as we speak. So it underlines...
Without them knowing?
No, they know. They subject them to tests.
Yes.
Okay. I know someone who is carrying the virus as we speak. You see, this virus is so dangerous that all these things, we carry that equipment. We test, we test for your temperature.
When I come in, they say 36. The other day, because I had a cup of beer, they say now 36.4. I said, okay, so...
You shouldn't have taken the cup.
I know go take, yeah, I know.
Now, the thing is, you see, the point I'm trying to make is your temperature for a whole week could even be normal. Okay. Yet you'll be carrying the virus.
Oh, really? That's curious.
No, that's it. It's the nature of the virus.
Wow.
Your temperature could be normal, yet you're carrying the virus. That is the thing. That's why it's so treacherous, it's so dangerous that we can never be too careful. We can never be too careful. Whatever we need to do, we must do.
I'm sure you have heard this saying, a man can never be too careful in his choice of enemies. This is one common enemy, and sometimes you don't have choices. Let's look at NLC urges FCDA to provide PPE incentives for health workers. But before then, I was going to rub this in. Lagos State announced a whistleblower incentive. It's part of ensuring that, I think it's a plus.
Yes, exactly. So at least people who are not, obeying the social distancing order and...
or the do's and don'ts.
Yes, just the do's and don'ts. You can always, report them.
Yeah.
Especially the downfall drivers, because I heard and I know that from Monday, buses shouldn't, no bus should be carrying 16 passengers. You should, keke.
On paper, yeah.
On paper. Tricycle, no, of course, tricycles, you shouldn't be carrying more than
they won't obey.
So all those things, so once you have people or maybe a major bus stop who are carrying more than the number, because they said 6, they're like, okay, maybe like a mall, a shopping
instead
mall.
Of 10.
A shopping mall, you shouldn't have more than 6.
6 across the bus, so?
Yes, now 6. 6 in
no,
the bus.
If it's a 10-seater
bus. If it's a 10-seater bus, it shouldn't be just 6.
18-seater car?
8. So it's just like that. It shouldn't be too much. 2 here, 2 there, 2 like that.
Yeah.
So it's not that you now cramp people and say because you want to.
But all those kabu cars, they will still put 4 at the back.
They will put 4 at the back.
And 3 at the front.
And I think Nigerians too, you as a passenger, if you want to save yourself,
a gentleman insisted.
Why should you even want to?
A gentleman insisted on thumbing a ride from me, and I stopped. I said, "A guy, where you go?" He said, "Oshodi." I asked him, "If you were me, would you have picked me?"
I see people.
He said, "Okay, sorry, sir."
You
so
can't
most
do
of these
that
people
now.
do it willfully, knowing that it's against the rule. But the FCT thing, PPE incentives for health workers, I think it's a plus here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they need it now more than ever. I know there was the WHO sent some, UN, Jack Ma Foundation also sent some, but we need more. Abia State was, I don't know if they've actually got the approval to produce more.
We should be able to produce it
so
ourselves.
we should be able to produce these PPEs in Nigeria within rather than saying we are waiting for China. To send PPEs for us. We should be able to do it.
Again, I hope I won't break your hearts. Asukwo and Jide, coronavirus, this coronavirus coming is a plus for humanity. You have to, so many things, it's an eye-opener. Those people who died, big people who died, who avoidably, who would have loved to go abroad, will now say, make we fix our hospital. I don't know.
Well, it's a blessing in disguise.
I think it's a blessing.
Our own, our own, are
Are
we
we as a
building?
result of
We
that
are not
building
building.
hospitals? Are
We are not
No,
building.
we are
That
saying-
is the problem.
You see why I can
Oh,
say
we
it's a
won't learn.
blessing.
You
see
won't
why
learn.
why I
That
can
is
say
it.
it's a blessing is if in the course of this pandemic we are now building hospitals.
Okay, okay.
When we had Festac yielded the National Theatre.
Yeah.
Festac yielded the village.
Games Village.
Yes.
Not
Festac
Games
Village, the one that is there
Festac
now.
Town.
Okay,
Festac
okay,
Town.
yeah,
Festac
okay.
Town.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Even the
This-
quarry. Ikponri too
every
was doing
time you
Festac.
do something big, like this, the All African Games, 1973,
Yeah.
the stadium in Surulere, then you can remember that epoch-making event by the structures that are standing, that you see. If at this time we are building hospitals, new hospitals, we are doing so many things
Yeah.
that this has prompted us to do, that this pandemic has prompted us to do. That is when I can say, oh, well, this is a blessing in disguise. If not for this pandemic, we won't have this. But this pandemic, we may defeat it before the end of the year. But we won't be able to point at
What we have
some
done.
infrastructure
Yes.
standing.
Yeah, okay. So we have company. Adekule is reaching us from Enugu. How do you do, sir? Good evening, welcome. Adekule, are you there? No luck, no luck. Okay. Now, let's take this breather. We'll be back. Please don't go away. Then, welcome back, and blessing in disguise, debatable. You know, at least this is the time we can look inwards, be introspective. What can we do on the home front? While the debate is going on, let's take you to where now? Kwara State, Jide's neighboring state, because 4 people sentenced for attempting to escape with COVID-19 patient in that state. Azukwo, can you imagine that? Attempting to escape.
No, well, I think with the attempting to was they were trying to shield somebody.
Well, it's a matter of definition, you know.
So if
Use the phrase loosely.
and that is another problem. When once somebody has COVID-19 or the symptoms of COVID-19, what you should do is should tell the authorities, let them come and take the person, because in keeping the person or trying to self-help medication, you know, with the person won't help, because you at the end of the day you get infected too. You know?
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
now what they have the government have done is to pick these people. You too, you have to go on self-isolation, and when you come out, you also pay 20,000. You know, because that is like the fine, and people should understand that this is not a joking matter anymore. You know, across if you notice, people are being the ones shielding people who are either they have traveled, they are home, and they are supposed to go on isolation. They will not. And then when they are having these symptoms, they will not call.
Jide Soko will be surprised that in his state, Akwa Ibom, you stuck with one particular case. Now they have admitted that
They have a problem.
They have a problem. You see what I mean? So they are saying 5 people. So that's a plus.
No, even with those 5 people, we know that there are some other people that are not showing the symptoms yet.
Yeah.
And before, you know, because there was a time the governor said he locked down. You know, he did the partial lockdown. People were coming in and out. He was self-praising himself.
That's it.
You know,
That's it.
and at the end of the day, look at the mess.
They are no longer denying that COVID-19 is in the state. You know that time when they said, no, we do not agree. These people, they rigged the test.
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
that. Later on, they admitted that there was a medical outreach in the state. Some people came from abroad.
Sometimes you think you are watching a crazy movie, you know, and these are real life situations.
These things, you know, you watch a movie, you know that is make-believe. But
Yeah.
this is reality that we are talking about. It's shameful.
Yeah.
There was a medical outreach, and it was at that medical outreach that Akwa Ibomites were infected. This state later admitted. After denying and accusing NCDC of all kinds of crimes, they owned up and they will now go and trace those people.
Principal epidemiologist in that state got fired, although they said it was a routine deployment and all that.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, COVID-19 is in Akwa Ibom.
It is here.
Nobody can continue to deny. If you are denying, you are just wasting your time.
Exactly.
So, deny, what do you gain at the end of the day?
Oh, yeah.
It is here. Let us all realize that this is a common enemy and that we must do whatever it takes to defeat this enemy. We should put politics aside. You can see that those who used to dominate our politics, those who used to be in the news all the time,
yeah,
we are not hearing about them. The other day, someone said, where is Amechi? Why is he not talking at this time? What do you want Amechi to say?
What do you want to talk?
Somebody said, Shomole is not in the news anymore. What do you want him to say? We are not talking about APC versus PDP now. We have a common enemy. And Oshomole is primed to defeat that enemy. In fact, they showed him walking out. So it's in the form of his life to join us in defeating this enemy.
But he has
politics will take a back seat at this time.
Have no
Exactly.
choice.
Somebody said every time you people are talking about coronavirus. Okay, tell me what else is in the news. All the news items are linked to coronavirus.
Exactly.
So if at this time you have a situation in which oil prices have gone down, what is to blame?
Corona.
It's corona.
Oh, yeah. So
Brent crude sold at $14 $85.
And
yesterday,
our own Bonnie Light,
which is lower than the cost of production.
Yeah.
So
Lower,
who caused
by
it?
far.
Who caused it? It is corona.
Asuko, tell them if you test positive, it's not a death sentence.
No,
that's number
exactly,
one. And
yes.
two, there's nothing to be ashamed about here.
Yes, of course.
Because I hear stigmatization has crept into it.
Yeah, because the NCDC DJ was even concerned about that, that people are already being stigmatized. That, this person has corona, and they want to start running away. No, it's not
the same people did not believe this.
Yeah, these same people that don't believe, they will now be the ones who say, this person has coronavirus, So like when one had HIV then, it took a lot of campaign sensitization to understand that this thing is curable if you take your antiretroviral drugs.
Oh, yeah.
And now,
You can live
this
your normal
one too,
life.
you can also live your normal. All the person needs is for you to identify the person and then let the person go for the normal checks and normal treatments. Then they'll start treating the person and the person will not die. Lagos has shown that you can go to, once you're identified, you can survive early.
Yeah.
You can
Early
survive.
enough.
Yes, early
enough.
And then you shouldn't shield yourself and want to go into self-help.
Yeah.
Once you know that
self-help includes resorting to your bottle of holy water. Please come out.
Of course. You shouldn't call, it's not the time for you to call your pastor and say, pray for me.
Or you need anointing.
No, I know. It's not that time.
I beg you, nobody's talking down on anointing.
If you like, go and get 100 million hectoliters of anointing oil. It will not solve your problem. It will not.
Yeah.
So God has created caregivers for us. Even in the Bible.
For a reason.
In the Bible, Luke was a physician, was a doctor.
Yes, he was a doctor.
So God has created.
You know Bible too.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. So God has created physicians to help us. When we are ill, they are the ones who jump in and assist us. So don't run away. Don't run away.
All right, sorry. We have company here. Yakub is reaching us from Lagos here. Yakub, good evening to you.
Good evening.
I greet you. Yeah.
And good evening, Babajide, and
Yakub.
the other gentleman is still Asuko.
Oh, no.
Good evening.
Babajide, I'm calling from Ogun State, precisely Info, local government.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has moved.
Citizen,
Yeah.
I'm really, really afraid. I'm afraid because the total number of confirmed cases is rising up on daily basis, without not even lift up or ease up the lockup. So I'm concerned. What is going to happen from Monday within Monday till next week, another week Monday. That's within 7 days. I'm really concerned because if I should be in position of government, they should be able to make sure that even though they were telling us that it is not everybody that will get the palliative, they should be able to give us some certain thing that will make us to stay at home. For me, I'm not ready to leave my house, and then all my family will continue to stay at home because I can tell you, citizen, nobody, especially all those yellow parties, they are not going to obey that law. And then we don't even have enough security agencies to be able to even monitor or prosecuting them. That is my concern. I don't know where we are heading to. May God Almighty Allah save all of us. Thank you.
Yeah, but first we save ourselves. Yakub, this head I'm carrying is God. Everything here. Everything is here. Okay then. Jide, let me take you to Bauchi. The government there has authorized the use of chloroquine for treatment.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Some drugs used in the treatment of malaria are very useful in treating this, but they must be administered by an expert, a professional. People cannot on their own just simply be ingesting chloroquine. They will hurt themselves. You know, in France, they use chloroquine along with another drug in treating, no, you see what, another drug. You see, they just looked at, okay, drugs that are proven to be useful in treating malaria. Hydroxychloroquine is one of them. In fact, Trump told the Indians to help him to produce many doses of hydroxychloroquine because there is no single drug that the WHO has picked as the official drug for curing this disease. So countries use all kinds of...
The official drug is in the works as we
speak. Yes.
Okay.
In the fullness of time, we will know the most effective. The most effective and with minimal side effects. That is what they will come up with. But different countries are treating this, people are recovering, and they are using all kinds of drugs. So hydroxychloroquine, along with other malaria drugs, are useful, and that is why the Bauchi authorities have elected to go for it. You know, in Lagos here, many people have recovered, but we are not told what they've used. The governor of your state spoke about the drugs that he used. And clearly some of them were herbs. Herbs, antiviral herbs. They are also very useful. So this is the thing. Until that time when a drug will be certified as the best.
And I think Mauritania is in the news here.
No, they are using Madagascar. They've opted for herbs.
Herbs too.
That's why they call it COVID organics.
Okay.
COVID organic.
This is specifically this.
It's also from they took it from artemisinin, which is artemisinin is one of the anti-malaria
remedies.
What's it called? Herbs.
Yeah. Okay.
That is used in fighting malaria. So we have it. We have dogoyaro all over northern Nigeria, for example. How did dogoyaro get here? It was the late Sardauna who visited India. And when he got to India, he saw the dogoyaro tree. And he was told that, look, this dogoyaro can help, they call it neem tree, but it's more popularly known as dogoyaro. It's very medicinal. So he brought seeds all the way from India to plant here. The neem tree is so strong that even in dry season, it's not affected. You know, and it is also perfect food for camels.
Oh, really?
You see camels when they see the neem tree. If you go to Sokoto, where they have a huge number of camels, you see them eating the neem tree.
Wow.
So it's useful. Even at this time, some people would take it in combination with some herbs, and they will be well.
Yeah.
But we are yet to find just that one that the world will accept.
But I know that man is thinking. Asukwa, this brings us to alternative remedies. Specifically, Professor Morris Iwu, forget about elections.
No.
He's a clinician and is a
Pharmacognosist.
Prognosis.
Yeah, you know,
Professor
he
of
says he may
pharmacognosis.
have found the cure for the virus.
Exactly. You know?
So, how about looking inward? Let's look on the
No,
inside.
before we actually came to set, the PTF chairman was even saying that they are also going to tell the president it's time to now look inwards.
Yeah.
So it is something that they are going to look into. Don't forget, Professor Morris, who has been saying that he has a possible cure for this, you know. And I remember when he granted us an interview, what he and his team have been able to do will be going for clinical trials. And if it goes on clinical trials, it's going to be one, not the final. You know, it's just going to be one of the remedies, not the final, you know, to cure, to treat COVID-19. And there are so many like that. I remember when this thing started, one of my reporters, actually, because we have one Dogo tree somewhere in the office, she started going there and, you know, plugging and all, you know. So it is like Chloroquine too.
Yeah.
You know, so it depends. Yes, it depends on your body system, your immune system. If your immune system is strong enough, you know, it can fight this virus.
In fact, that reminds me of what the University of Ibadan are doing. Dr. Mrs. Badamosi, you know, was speaking on Your View the other day, and she's saying, look, they are developing herbs. The university is stepping up research into herbs that can improve our immunity. That is their own contribution to defeating the virus. Because once your immunity is boosted, you are in tip-top form to fight
to defeat the virus.
Because you know, for once you do not your antibodies cannot withstand that battle. That is when people die, and that is why it kills a lot of elderly people, because they are vulnerable, their immune system not strong enough. So they are saying, look, there are herbs that can be developed, you know, just to boost people's immunity.
But you and I know that chloroquine tablet and all them tablets to fight malaria are synthesized from
herbs.
Yes.
So which is saying we can, talking about looking inward, let me take you to Obasanjo's second coming and his first Minister of Health. You remember Tim Menakaya? Had a running battle with Dr. Abalaka of Jide's state over, look, I have a
cure for HIV.
Okay, for myself, you see this man. So I'm saying, fast forward to 2020. If we agreed with the Abalakas and Jacob Abdullahi,
maybe by now,
who knows?
Yes, maybe by now we should have.
That's why
Nigeria should have been on the world map.
That's why I'm proud of that young president of Madagascar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at what he's doing.
Taking the bull
by the horn.
You know, now the Americans are desperate for help. And they are looking in that direction.
You know, BK, even Equatorial Guinea went to order some cartons.
No, what?
They had ordered cartons that they are taking to Equatorial
Guinea. Are we going to fold our hands and say, okay, until the remedy comes from the UK, from Europe and America, we will not accept it?
Make I use old man sense persona. You remember mad cow disease? You can't remember the cure. The cure was cassava, which is why Abia State under Ojiu Okalu went into an aggressive cassava cultivation, and they exported it. What I'm saying is, the answer is here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Look for them. They are staring.
You know, even the Oni said it now.
Yes.
The Oni said, okay, have been able to find something that will help to boost the immune system.
I believe them. I believe them because when you look at in Europe, they find it difficult to defeat flu.
Yeah, exactly.
During the wet season, flu kills a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
But flu is nothing to us here.
Exactly.
Even malaria, many of our people have developed immunity to malaria. They just treat it as just
Normal.
Because even the herbs that take care of it, that defeat it, that defeat typhoid, our people know them.
The answers are here.
Our people know them.
But they say, I hear if you...
Inferiority complex is a problem that we have.
And also the politics of it is, if you admit that you have an antidote to whatever that comes like this, you won't get, what do you call these subventions that come in, grants and so on. But that's selling yourself short.
No, I think at this point we shouldn't be thinking of grants. We can make money, if we want to, we can make money, produce and even jobs.
Let's save our people first.
Yeah, because
before even we think of money.
Because people will be thinking of making money.
Because let's save our people.
If
waiting for those Americans, they are saying that their vaccine will come around September.
No, it's even January.
We cannot wait.
So
if we must wait, our people go die finish.
Yeah, of course. So whatever we can, whatever ideas that our researchers are carrying out, and let's just be trying it with our people. Let's be trying with our people.
By the same time, Prof. Iwu, abeg, don't drop your guards.
Yes.
And your colleagues and so on. Come out now by force, by fire. Okay, then let's talk about an aspect of this fight that's been stealing the headlines, palliatives. More and more lawmakers are joining the efforts to get more palliative materials to the vulnerable in their communities. In Borno, for instance, Senator Kashim Shettima has distributed food items worth some 35 million naira and cash of some 25 million naira too to the people of the state, the Central Senatorial District. Also, Chairman of the House of Reps Committee on Budget and Appropriation, Muktari Betara, who is representing Biu, Bayo and Kwaya Kusa, and Shani constituency of the state, donated palliative items worth 100 million naira to his constituents too. We hear a female lawmaker from Ogbomosho North State constituency of Oyo State. The name is Bimbo Oladeji. She's also donated some packs to her people. Well, it's a typical Nigerian setting, Palliatives are for you. Why fight over them? Let's even start.
People, you must understand that our people are hungry.
Oh, okay.
It's difficult to get people to be disciplined and obey the social distancing idea when it's food that we are sharing to them. It's a battle of the fittest. They will push aside pregnant women, they will push aside elderly and vulnerable people. So this is the way they are. But I'm happy that we've been talking about this and challenging these lawmakers, and they're beginning to do it. Senator Kashim Shettima donated food items worth 35 million, and he distributed cash worth 25 million. Wow. 50 kg bags of rice to 1,200 people. He does not want it known to people so that I can get his full reward. But we have to talk about it because we were the ones who challenged them. We said they were not doing enough for the people. And then it's the same thing that Honorable Muktari Betara has done. Palliatives worth 100 million to his people in Borno South. And then Senator Shekarau, former Minister of Education, there are 1,720 wards in Kano Central. There are 15 local governments. And in each of those wards, 10 persons were selected, and he gave them 10,000 naira each. He also went to
representing homesteads.
Yes. He also went to the to interest groups like Yoruba, Igala, Ijo, Thieves, and 20 each from those cultural groups. He gave them 10,000 each. So he has not distributed food packs, but he has distributed cash in excess of 40 million. So at least this will help bring down some tension in the land. That is what makes us happy.
All right. How do you bury this? 30 seconds?
No, I
Taking
think
it from the top.
from the top. Okay, well, we should be looking at, let us look inwards, you know, try to localize the remedies for this COVID. I believe that Nigeria has at least a remedy to defeat this COVID.
Yeah.
I
All right.
believe so.
Okay.
And the government should just believe in us.
To encourage.
All right, all right. That will just about do it for today. But mine is, if you are giving any palliative, no need to announce them. Do them. You can do it, and God knows. Okay, because he's never mocked. Super James, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Jide, many thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right, then. So that's it. Join if you missed this edition. Watch the program on other platforms, which will show on the screen, and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. The feedback channel remains the same. Meantime, on behalf of the Backroom Boys here, I am Citizen Jones saying bye-bye for now.